Welcome. Today I bring you a special preview of The Ambassador's Daughter. Haliz throws it in Refika's face that Nair is living in her house. Refika replies that she can't do anything about it due to the fact that now Mujit is also on Nair's side. Haliz rails at her saying that soon Gediz will start dating Nair and they will get married. Refika wishes that never happens. She says that Gediz would never do something like that and that for sure soon Sanyar and Gediz will reconcile. Haliz asks her how can she be sure of that when they had such a fierce fight. Refika tells her that the relationship between the two families has been very strong for generations as the Isikli family has helped the Afiaglus a lot. Haliz gets furious and says that they owe the Isiklis nothing. Refika tells her that in her family there are no traitors and that Gediz will not turn his back on Sanyar. Haliz says that she doesn't care about the rest as she will get Nair out of the country, no matter what, and so they will make Sanyar and Gediz reconcile. Meanwhile Nair and Mujit tell Elvin that they called her because they need her help to make Gediz and Sanyar reconcile. Elvin says that the solution is for Nair to quit her job. Nair explains that she already tried, but even then Sanyar didn't give in. Elvin gets worried and asks her what she plans to do then, so Nair tells him her plan. At night Elvin goes to see Melek to talk to her about the Zebek. Melek sadly comments that the last time Sanyar did it, his mother was very angry. Elvin tells him that this time is different and that if Sanyar does it, Nair will be very happy. Melek asks why. So Elvin tells her that Sanyar and Gediz fought but the next day there is a banquet. So Nair wants them both to go and be friends again, but Sanyar doesn't want to go. So Melek gets upset. Elvin tells her that Nair thinks that if she tells her father to go he will accept and asks if he can help her with that. So Melek replies that she will try to convince him. Sanyar arrives at the house and greets Yahya and asks if he is still mad at him. Yahya replies that he can't be since he is the one who gave him everything they have and apologizes for what happened. Yahya comments that he knows that he started it all for Nair and that he can understand it. Plus he would have accepted him giving his shares anyway had he asked him. Sanyar asks him if everything is okay then. But Yahya replies that it is not, as no one cares about what he wants. Nair goes to meet Katsumi, as he called her to surprise her. But when she arrives she sees that the surprise is that he has invited Guvin. A hotel employee calls Sanyar to let him know that Nair has gone to the hotel. So he goes to check the cameras and finds him with Guvin. So he wonders what they are planning. Meanwhile everyone in the house prepares the table for dinner. Elvin seeing Sanyar outside signals Melek to go talk to him. So Melek goes to talk to her father to ask him to take her to the banquet that will be held the next day. Sanyar asks her how she knows about that banquet and if she has talked to Nair. Melek answers no and that Elvin told her about it. Sanyar tells her that they will not be able to go to that banquet but that he will take her to see her mother. Melek asks if it is that Nair will not attend the banquet as well. Sanyar insists that they will not go to the banquet but that he will take her to see Nair. So Melek is happy and Elvin is upset that the plan did not work out. Nair asks Guvin why he is there. Guvin says he missed him but Nair doesn't believe him and demands explanations. Guvin tells him that he was fired because of Tibor. Nair asks him if he didn't pay his debt and what he did with the money Sanyar gave him. Guvin doesn't answer so Nair asks him if he bet it then and mocks him. Since for his reputation he even hid the abuse she suffered but now he has lost everything. Guvin angrily asks him to talk outside and leaves. Nair follows him and annoyed, asks him again why he is there and if he is planning to take more money from Sanyar. Guvin answers that he has no way to get money from him anymore. So Nair asks him why he went there then. Guvin remembers when he went to denounce Sanyar's company for fraud but he doesn't answer Nair. So she asks him what he is planning now. He replies that he is not planning anything and that when he was fired he had to stay with Akin. So she gets angry and tells him that if he is not her enemy he should leave Akin's house and makes a reservation for him at that hotel. As she leaves she gets a message from Elvin telling her that the plan failed and asking for new instructions. During dinner at Sanyar's house Gigi starts to get upset. So Sanyar knowing it's probably because of Nair gets up and gets a call from her so he goes to answer it. Melek follows him. Sanyar angrily tells Nair that she should call Elvin instead of him. But she tells him it's something very important so he replies that he will go to see her. Melek asks her father if Nair is there and asks him to go to see her too. So Sanyar takes Melek with Nair. Both happily hug and Nair thanks Sanyar for taking his daughter to her. Melek asks Nair when they will be together again so Nair promises her it will be soon. Menexi goes out to the balcony to call his brother to meet on the sly. However, when he arrives at the barn he sees Nair with Melek and Sanyar. Kavrak takes Melek away. So Nair goes over to talk to Sanyar. He asks her what was so important for her to go see him. She tells him that as she will have seen from the cameras, Güven is in town. He tells her that he can't trust her and asks her what they are planning. She tells him that she is not planning anything, but apparently Güven is, but she doesn't know what it is. Sanyor asks her why she put him up in her hotel if she really doesn't know anything. Nair answers is because she doesn't know what he is planning and so they will keep an eye on him. She tells him that she will find out his plan if he goes to the Zebek. Sanyor is furious and tells her that he is not going to reconcile with Gedaiz. She asks him to lower his voice and accepts his proposal to leave her job and depend on him, as long as she leaves Melek to him. Sanyor asks her in exchange for what, so she answers that she will not interfere in her relationship with Gedaiz and they can be friends again as she does not want them to be separated because of him. Sanyor proposes her to be with Melek for 2 days since her relationship with Gedaiz will not be the same as before, but he will accept to continue being his associator, so Nair accepts the deal. Meneksi, angry after listening to them, goes to her brother to tell him to continue with Halil's plan and get rid of Nair. The next day Nair tells Gedaiz that she convinced Sanyor to go to the banquet and to resume their relationship as partners. Gedaiz smiles incredulously and asks her how she did it. She only tells him that she made Sanyor see his mistake, but Gedaiz doesn't believe her and asks her to tell him what happened, but Nair refuses to tell him. So Gedaiz refuses to go to the banquet if she doesn't answer him. Nair tells him that she agreed to quit the job so Sanyor would agree. Gedaiz gets upset so Nair tells him that she lied to Sanyor and that she is actually going to take his daughter and disappear. Later they all go to the banquet and Rafik and Haliz congratulate Sanyor and Gedaiz for working out the problems and getting back together. But Sanyor tells Gedaiz that he doesn't want to see him unless it's in mandatory meetings, so Gedaiz understands that although the relationship as partners is resumed the friendship is not. Sanyor tells him that Nair won't work with him either nor will she stay in his house, plus she didn't really trust him as she knew he would betray him. Gedaiz reminds him when they made their deal. Sanyor reminds him that they promised each other not to touch their loved ones, so Gedaiz replies that they both know that neither will be able to have anything with Nair. At that moment Katsumi arrives to sign the deal. Güven leaves the hotel, so Nair goes to check her room to try to find some clue about their plan. On the bed she finds a folder so she opens it and is shocked to find out what Gedaiz and Sanyor have done. So upset she calls Sanyor to warn him about Akin and Güven's plan. However Sanyor does not hear the call. Nair then calls Gedaiz, but when she leaves the hotel she sees that her tires have been slashed. So she looks for a cab to go to the banquet. However the cab driver is in on the plot with Meneksi's brother. Nair calls Mujit to warn him about what she discovered, but due to the noise Mujit does not hear her and asks her to go to the banquet. Mujit hangs up and Nair notices that the cab driver is taking a strange route so she asks about it, but the car stops and several men force her out telling her that they will take her out of town and warn her not to object. They try to subdue her, but she fights back so they beat her. Sanyor on his part sees Nair's calls so he calls her. Due to the distraction, Nair manages to free herself and gets into the car, managing to flee. Yaya goes to his brother to tell him that the event has started. Sanyor worriedly explains that Nair called him but now he doesn't answer. Yaya asks him to call her later and come back to the event, so Sanyor goes to Yaya. Nair arrives at the banquet injured and calls Gedaiz and Sanyor. They go with Nair. Sanyor asks her what happened to her, so she tells them that they should leave immediately. Sanyor, worried seeing her injured, tells her that they should go to the hospital, but she repeats to them that they must go from there as soon as possible since Güven denounced them and the police will arrive at any moment. However, at that moment the police arrives to arrest them, so Gedaiz and Sanyor look at each other. After knowing the charges against them, Nair, worried, asks them if that is a lie, but none of them answers her. And so we end this preview. Until next time.